Hey, everybody, welcome to Friday. Woohoo! Friday, follies, fuckery, and just general self-empowerment. How are you? Richard Cameron here. You know that because you're on here. I don't know how you're doing. I'm doing okay. Day 17, using these things. I'm better than I was day one. That's for sure. Things are coming along pretty good. I think, in fact, this weekend I'm going to try get on a lawn tractor and see if I can actually maneuver that doggone thing. We'll see. Hard to say. Don't know. I do have a boot on. Maybe I can use the heel to push down the gas. I don't know. But we're going to find out anyways. Hey, you've been paying attention to the data. You've been paying attention to the political shenanigans going on all over the place, both north of the border here and south of the border down there. You've been watching nonsense like this Garcetti guy or whatever his name is, the mayor out in LA saying, we're going to lock everything down for 3 months until we find a cure, which of course you're never going to do. Okay. Power grabs. How about the governor over in Michigan? The little Hitler lady. Yes, indeed. That's what's there. You know, right? I mean, if you don't, you better wake up to this. Obedience is not a virtue. It just isn't. Just ask 6 million dead Jews from the Second World War, yeah, that obeyed and get in the cars and come to the camps and go into the showers because we know what's best for you during this time of strife and turmoil. Yeah, I'm not saying that our political group is that bad, but they do have a tendency to want to control everything, and you must obey. Right? We just saw, in fact, our good old premier here in Ontario, Ford, decide that dogs can get haircuts before people. Yeah. Listening to bad data. Really bad data. You know, I'm including a link here. You know, the interview is an hour long. Most people aren't going to go through that, but I would suggest that you go at least through the first 20 minutes. Okay? Just the first 20 minutes. Because a lot of bells are going to go off in your head. A lot of, uh-oh, what? Excuse me, pardon? What? At least you're going to be plugged into some correct data and understanding about how we as a species have survived millennia, okay, without all this other nonsense floating around. Yeah, medical science has got benefits, don't get me wrong. But when you inject the political class into all of this, okay, really inject the political class, because that's what we've done, that everything starts getting looked at through the prism of politics. How will this affect me? What happens if something's wrong? What's going to happen in the next elections? I don't care if you're liberal, conservative, NDP, Green, Republican, Democrat. I don't care. The political, the lensing has a way of just doing nothing more than solidifying power of a particular base of people rather than the liberation of folks. In fact, I heard something the other day somebody was talking about, and I was an economist, and he says, yeah, what you don't understand. And it's like, that was the thing that went off in my brain when he said this. What you don't understand, and yes, I guess I always did, because I actually have relatives that think along this line. They said, people vote for free stuff, not for freedom. You know, freedom and liberty always takes the back seat to free stuff. And I laughed and I went, oh yeah. In fact, speaking of free stuff, didn't ask for it, didn't need it, nobody asked me about it or anything else, but I got informed via the media this week that the Canadian government has deemed it necessary to send me tax-free $300 over the next month. What? Why? What? In fact, somebody who knows me sent a snipey little comment, something like, well, I guess now you're going to get that $300 from the government. Why don't you just turn around because you want to have it and send it back to them? And the thing I'm saying, it's not the government's money. It never has been. It's the people's money. I know where I'm going to use it. It's not going to be for me. There are, in fact, charitable groups that I've oftentimes contributed to ongoingly in that way. Government just allowed me to redistribute $300 to a group of people that's got wonderful things that they can do with it. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's like unfreaking believable. Magic money. That's what I call the fuckery. It's magic money coming out of nowhere. Government creates no capital. They print money, print magic money, but wealth and capital is created by the people. And when you lock down the people, they can't create the wealth. So then we create this fiat currency, just print it, print it, print it, print it, print it, print it, print it. How nonsensical is that? But people aren't what? They're not thinking. The critical thinking here is like lost. And I guess maybe it's a lot to do with our education system, because frankly, I don't find many teachers, although they have all the capability in the world to be, but I don't really find many teachers that are really, quote, entrepreneurs. They're trying to figure out their escape from that in order to create more value than they can in the classroom. Yes, I want people in the classroom that is their passion and that, but how many teachers have I met through the years that absolutely have just put their back up against the wall and said, you know, I really can't do the things I need to do in the best way I know how possible, because the, quote, political class is telling me how best to deliver information to my students. Yeah, that goes on a lot too. And I think you know it, and I know it, and that's why, you know, private schools have certainly been able to pop up and have more and more popularity, again, on both sides of the border that way. Yeah, that's it. It's an interesting time. But so this data that politicians are grabbing a hold of is always through a political lens. How best to manage you so that you feel that they are doing you a favor. Doing you a favor by keeping you entrapped, by keeping you apart, by making you full of fear and trepidation that you or your neighbors have got the cooties. Oh, and I could just get infected by looking at you too close, by getting too close, to speaking too loud. I better put on my mask. God darn it, guys. I mean, look. So, and then there's part two. Look, I have no idea how many people are wandering around today not knowing that they're unemployed, but there's a crap load, okay? There is an absolute crap load. In fact, in a report today from Delta Airlines, they said, you know what, we think we've got 7,000 too many pilots after this, you know, restrictions start to get lifted. That we just don't have any use for these guys that sit up at the front of the bus, in essence, and fly you around. That's just a drop in the bucket. I mean, I don't know how many business models are going to be hanging on with these, quote, imposed restrictions under threat of fine, jail, and whatever else goes on. Taking away, again, freedom and liberty for the sake of political expediency, not for your well-being. Okay, again, look at this video that's in just the first 20 minutes. You'll get what I'm talking about. Yeah, she's a scientist, and yeah, she might be a little bit dry, but just pick up some of the data. Don't get your data from CBC, CTV, Global, god-awful CNN and NBC, or for that matter, Fox, or, you know, news, you know, updates from the prime minister or from the governor or from the premier, or all these things. Okay, there's data. Oh yeah. And the Canadian government, the federal government, is trying to impose restrictions on data that comes through the internet because you may not hear the right stuff according to them. That is 100% bullshit fuckery. Okay, that's messing with you and your information sources and streams. Yeah, that's what's going on. So what do you do about it? You decide that you're going to have a degree of independence. You decide that you're going to know some of the rules and ways in which you can operate in an optimal way. You're going to decide that you are going to take care of your own state of well-being, your state of health. Oh, look at that. All these things are, oh, look at vitamin D might help, and zinc and vitamin C. If you paid attention to me for the last 14 years, you've heard that. And oh, by the way, half the stuff on the shelf is just pure unadulterated crap. Okay. But anyways, but it goes far beyond that. It goes far beyond that into all sorts of things can interact and such. They'll provide you with an optimal health outcome. It just does. Yeah. And that's what, oh, this side, right? Coach Richard is about. Not just along that line, because I also get in this thing of prosperity. You know, by just taking care of your health, by taking care of you, by making sure that you can operate at an optimal level, certainly. Do you know that you can save $400 or $500 a month just in your taxes by being healthy, being excited about being healthy, and telling people that there are things that they can do, giving them options if they do or not? It doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter, but you know, the outcome of what they decide of what you're saying doesn't really matter to you because it's all about them. Okay. But yeah, I mean, people are all excited about they're getting an extra $300 free, tax free. And I'm just going to show you how you can save $400 or $500 off your taxes each and every month, providing you're employed, providing you got a job, providing you've got income sources like pensions or things coming, RRSPs or those sorts of things, right? Investment income. But yeah, right off the bat. And then if you want to learn a few skills, how best to get your idea across to people so that they can make just an informed choice, then you can really start to make some money. But it all starts with you, right? With you. That's where that all starts from. So yeah, government trying to restrict your sources of information, that's bullshit fuckery, right? Information that they are spewing out to you, a lot of it is just really ill-informed. I mean, look at all the projections that they were doing. Oh, we're going to lose 2.5 million people. You know, it was just so much nonsense. It isn't funny. In fact, as we continue to look at the data and we get the release of the data and we know the groups that are vulnerable, right? We've absolutely created an environment of what I call slaughterhouses in our long-term retirement care places. I mean, that's what we've done. And it's been done a lot of times under mandate by government. Says, okay, we're going to take these people that have been in the hospital, we're going to move them into these long-term homes, right? Scores and scores and scores of people end up dying inside of these facilities. Think there might be something up with that? Yeah, people with ongoing respiratory issues like, you know, asthmatics and stuff, are they a vulnerable group? Yeah. Are obese folks and folks that are really dealing with like type 2 diabetes and pre-diabetes, you know, real vulnerable groups? Yeah, they are, but we can identify those folks. We can put them in a state of what we call, I don't know if I want to call it lockdown, but we could create an environment and where they can have the best possible outcomes and they can determine if they want to start to take care of some of those underlying cofactors, that they can decide if they want to snap out of their mindset that's saying, well, I guess that's just the way I am. Folks that walk around in a constant state of high blood pressure, you know, not dealing with the underlying issues of the high blood pressure, but just relying on medications, they might have a bit of an issue as well too. Okay, yeah, they can do things about that, but they have to decide they want to, but don't take it from me because they decide not to. You understand that? We have killed so many dreams around. We just have. We've killed people's lifelong work and ambitions and stuff. These small businesses that aren't going to reopen, or when they reopen are going to be just a shell of what they were. Maybe survive, maybe not. I don't know. But what you do know is that you are in control of your information stream. You can take what I'm saying and just, you know, shovel it off onto some other shelf in your brain because it's just coming from a guy who knows better, but that's your decision, okay? I never would assume to impose what I think on you, just to give you a course of information so you can decide. Yeah. So anyway, that's the end of Friday follies and fuckery and follow-up and such. Let's get after it, folks. Let's make sure that you live life to its fullest, that you love life and live it, and you love life and live it now. Okay, everybody. Be well. Bye-bye.